Hello everyone, Ryan here, and today we have another episode of Not Really Qualified to talk about music, and for the second time we have Liam, the music reviewer, on. Now, we did do a podcast like a month ago with Liam, but I fucked up, guys. My audio was bad, and it was bad. But we have Liam here again. He also runs Blink Clyro, a music publication. You should all go check it out. There are a lot of good reviews and articles on there. And go check out his channel as well. And yeah, how are you both doing?
You haven't introduced me.
I'm good.
Josh is a person.
People don't know I'm here, Ryan.
They know by now.
How are you doing, Liam?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Like I was saying in the pre-chat thing, I seem to like just curse this podcast. Like last time, there must have been like about 5 technical issues.
Oh god!
And before this one, like Ryan's Audacity wasn't working.
Oh no!
You were screaming into the void for 5 minutes. Being able to hear it.
Yeah.
So,
Just terrible.
I was like sitting here listening to these two having a conversation, and I'm like, "Hello, guys," and then Liam.
You were in the sunken place.
And then Liam was like, "Is Josh here?" And Ryan was like, "Oh no, he's not here." And he's like, "Oh okay," but I saw his little circular thing. I'm like, "I'm here, guys!" Oh my god! Like my anxiety was like running so high. I thought this isn't gonna happen. This is never gonna happen. But yeah. Finally.
So yeah.
happy to be here. Thanks.
Oh yeah, it's good to have you on again.
I'm really excited.
It was a good conversation last time.
It was a shame. So
yeah.
Essentially a catch up. I think we talked about the Brits, right? We talked
about the Brit Awards.
About the Brit Awards, pretty
much how wrong they got most of the things, really.
Which is what we expect.
Yeah, award ceremonies tend to do that to us, especially in the music industry. The only one that ever really gets it close is like the Mercury Prize, but I don't think anyone even bothers with that one.
I
don't think it has enough.
I guess
it doesn't have enough of a following, does it?
No,
Well, like we were saying in the last one, it's like the patrician hosting the awards show. It's like everyone, and to be fair, they've like young fathers are like, I know Josh, you're not as big on but, like young fathers, like people like there's so many acts that have came about. They're like experts, they're now like it's a really good platform for like all these like upcoming artists to like do some really good stuff, but like you say, like I think people only ever care about it go like, oh, I don't recognise maybe in 3 years I will.
For sure. But the XX was like the one that I think was the only one really that actually elevated them to some success, because I think that album really charted high after they won it, and then the songs made it into charts. So yeah, sometimes it works, but but today we're gonna try. Well, no, we're gonna actually
try
and talk. We're gonna try.
Don't jinx this podcast.
Come on, have a try. No, we're gonna actually talk about music publications, because Liam did a good video on his channel about NME.
That's a nice compliment.
Yeah, it's a nice compliment. I mean, it was alright actually. It's not good. No, it was really good actually. Yeah, NME recently announced. Well, it was about a month ago now, but they announced that the print edition is now obsolete. It's cancelled. No more magazines of NME, which I remember about 2 or 3 years ago they made it free because the sales of it was so low that they just thought we'll just put it out there for free, and then it actually had a bit of like a boost, I think, didn't it? Yeah. The
most popular since Beatles craze, which is like you think about how much buzz they had, so it kind of puts that in perspective.
Yeah, I rewatched your video today, Liam, because Ryan mentioned what we're going to be talking about, and I when you said that, I was like, that's absolutely crazy. Like,
I know.
Because I remember I was pretty much like in my own bubble with that. When it became free, I just thought, well, it is shite, and I didn't like listen. I didn't like listen to anybody else. I didn't listen to I didn't see the charts. I mean, like the sales or whatever. So I just thought it was a complete failure from the start. Like, you completely opened my mind. Like, I can't believe it was so popular.
Yeah, like I think with like I don't know what the last recorded sales were for it, but like I think it would just be more of a case of they didn't justify what they're doing. Like if you've ever read a copy of the NME, you know yourself, like about half of it is pretty much advertising, like another quarter it's just like editorial pieces disguised.
Although like in the end, like towards the end of their their free releases, their free physical releases, like the front pages became adverts.
Oh
like Vans, you know.
Jesus.
And what's funny, like I work in a record shop, as I've said billions of times.
Oh, do you work at a record shop, Josh?
And let's just stroke my ego here. And we've got copies of the NME, and we've got people coming in recently and it's like, are these free? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, take one. And they're like, oh, great. And I say, well, enjoy it because it's the last copy. And they're like,
no.
And they're like, no, this is so sad. Or they're like, yeah, I fucking couldn't stand this shit anyway.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you get mixed like reviews from people, I found. But I guess it depends on what type of music listener they are.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think if you're a casual listener and you like the Arctic Monkeys being in your face, 24/7, then
and just standard indie rock bands that have done it all before, but they're familiar, so people just kind of jump on it, don't they?
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they always got criticised. Like I think it was like during the 80s, they got criticised for not jumping on like all the shoegaze acts that were popping up at that kind of time. So I think like obviously nowadays, like, well, I say nowadays, they're gone now, but you would notice like they would always try and not go for something too underground, but they would at least attempt to stay on the pulse. But them staying on the pulse was like a total delay. Like a year later, after somebody's talked about this big act, they're like, okay, maybe we should do it now. They've made a lot of shoddy decisions, and Brian, you tweeted about it as well when it came to like their review. It was absolutely pathetic. Like not only did they give To Pimp a Butterfly a 6
what?
Which is already like
they didn't. No way.
Like, I'm pretty. I when I read it, I was like, okay, pretty much the general consensus, like not even taking Fantano into consideration, was this is like Kendrick Lamar's best album. This is easily going to be one of the most like important records of our time.
Yeah,
ARTV gave it like a 9, a 4.5 or something.
Right.
Which says a lot because he
fucking hates trap music. He hates trap music. Hip hop just isn't as cool nowadays, guys. Doesn't say anything.
No, NME told us that.
NME. I can't believe they. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. I'm gonna check this now. I believe you, but I just want to read the review a little bit.
I'm on the site just now, and it's not giving me an actual score here, like on the site, and I'm.
Oh, they like got rid of it.
I wonder if that's like.
Yeah, did they remove that?
What a bunch of pussies.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna be like an absolute edgelord, like at least kind of like have the audacity to be like, okay, I'm gonna stick.
But I mean,
I think Pitchfork have done this before though, where they've had like album. They
are so bad.
Yeah, there've been like a few reviews where they've just deleted them because the album's actually gained so much like critical acclaim over time. I wish I could think of the example. There's one famous example. They shit all over Discovery by Daft Punk when that came out, and then they put it on their best albums of the decade list. I know that's one of them, but there's another one somewhere they deleted the review for it because of it actually ended up being quite a highly regarded album. I can't remember what it was.
But this is what I think, right? This is what I think about like publications that have several writers writing reviews. Yeah. Eventually, you're gonna get one person who doesn't like an album, a classic album, or But that's fine. It's called music. Music is subjective for that reason.
Yeah.
So that's where music publications truly fail for me. It's just not. You're not going to get a consistency at all.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have one writer who's writing for the Kendrick Lamar album, who might. Okay, maybe you're putting them on that review because they're hip hop big, right? They love hip hop, but it's not a typical hip hop album. So they might not like it. They might give it a 6 out of 10. They might think it's average at best. And whether you think, it's up to the public, the publication to just let that be, or get someone else to write it and not publish it until somebody else has written it to their standards.
But the thing is, I wouldn't mind. I don't mind them giving it a 6 out of 10
neither,
as long as they can sort of explain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like clearly here, we can't see the score on the side, and so it's like, well, okay, did they regret that?
Well, I've got the excerpt here, which says an album that, lacking the neatly redemptive arc of Good Kid, Mad City, is also grand and slightly unwieldy, which sounds like rather positive. Like it, but for some reason, NME were always kind of, they used, if this was probably this 2015, so this would have been like before they went free. They love to be kind of contrarian.
Yeah.
Much like Pitchfork do, because linking on to what you were saying, Pitchfork always, every Sunday, I'm pretty sure there's a, like, they'll talk about the reissues, they'll talk about like remasters,
classics,
and that's pretty much, and it's pretty much them getting to like redeem themselves. Like, we gave like, say, Swans are like a huge, like, kind of like a cult act in that. So if they were to have gave like one of their albums like a 7 out of 10, when it dropped back in whatever, like some point in the early noughties of that, they can easily just go, well, it's a 10 because we can just do that. We've got the benefit of hindsight. Which I'm like, if you're gonna do that, like I think you do it well, and I think a lot of like online reviewers do it well, where somebody could say to me, "Oh, your favourite Kanye album? Yeah, it's not good," and I could be like, "Well, I disagree, but you've at least kind of backed up your somewhat."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's fair.
I say somewhat because some people don't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, that's the thing about, and I think that's so ratty of Pitchfork to do that. To do the best reissue.
But back in the day, they shit on it and said it was like the worst thing ever.
But again,
I agree.
Again, like that's what happens when you have several writers. Yeah,
it's a problem, isn't it? And there are probably albums now, though. Like, there will be albums now that, like, so many critics will be like, "Oh yeah, this isn't very good," but then years down the line, actually, it's pretty good. Like, we got it wrong the first time. I know Fantano did a video on that, didn't he? Where he was like, I think he listed off 10 albums that he changed his mind on, and that's fine. Like, you can actually change your mind. It's nothing wrong with it.
As long as you admit you're changing your mind and not like pretending you had the same opinion for years on end.
And trying to be like, oh, we were ahead of the curve, or we're ahead of the curve now, or whatever. Like, which I think Pitchfork try to be.
I don't know why Pitchfork. I mean, they've got some talented writers.
Definitely.
I mean, I know like Zoe Camp has written.
She's hilarious.
She's great. I mean, there's another person that I would love to have on this podcast is Zoe Camp, and but like, she's an amazing writer. They've had a few great writers. It's not consistent. It just isn't consistent, and but it's it's just how it is. I don't actually know. Does anyone actually know how Pitchfork became so popular?
I just think they had that kind of market. Like, there wasn't really, everyone was so focused on print, and I feel like after a while, these magazines realised, oh, we need to be there, kind of thing. And they always go on about how they're the most like trusted trusted voice in music, which is a
complete lie.
I don't think any person. I don't think.
Go on.
Sorry, Ryan, you go.
No, go.
No, I don't think you can be the most trustworthy voice in art in general. I feel like I don't think it's possible, and for somebody to claim that they are.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to be like, oh, like you're the site that keeps the finger on the pulse and all that. Like, they know what's going on. You can argue that. Like, you can objectively say, right, we found out about so many bands as opposed to everyone else. But say you're trustworthy, like, it's totally subjective, because like how you react to a review, like, you can. I don't think that can you can't gauge like trustworthiness.
But I think that will have been their sort of tagline back in the day, because there was a point where like they were the go-to place, because I think what they were really influential, I think, in sort of bringing out like so much obscurity in music that you would never have heard of, because if it wasn't for them, because Rolling Stone kind of lost their like sort of peak years and years and years ago, but then in the 2000s, the internet came about, and then Pitchfork was like this kind of like weird little thing that cared more about music than a lot of other websites, and then it was kind of like, okay, this is actually the go-to place now, because we have something that can give us something that isn't like chart music, or isn't the every other rock band, because they were pretty good with that sort of like alternative styles, and I think that's what helped them propel to the top. And there was even a point as well, I think, like, they would put out a review, give it best new music, and then like that album would suddenly get popular. Like they still, that still happens now. Actually, there are a few albums. Yeah.
Well, I honestly think that when it came to that Cupcake album, a lot of people might have been. I myself was hesitant before I saw music reviewers on YouTube talk about it. I think a lot of people kind of probably went, "Oh, this isn't like," because obviously I think a lot of people just see her as being this rapper that just talks about the one thing, but like you listen to her new album and you realise that she's got like a lot of potential, that she's solidified. So I do think that when it came to Pitchfork putting best new music, they still do have that impact, but sometimes it just feels like they're echoing stuff that they kind of already know. They're not paving the way as much anymore. I think that comes down to people. Like, I think I don't know if you've ever watched Video Game Donkey, or watched his review, or his video, sorry, on video game critics. I feel like a lot of those same criticisms they made about them can be applied to music. Where you get places like IGN, and they're so inconsistent with it. Like Call of Duty's herald is like a 9 out of 10, like, oh, it's totally changing the game, and they'll give something else like a 6 out of 10, which is actually trying to do something different, which is actually interesting. Like, it is like they're kind of just like, they're totally out of the loop. There's still people that go like listen to them because they need to be told what they can and what they can't like. But yeah, like I think you can kind of when it's just a one person, I feel like there's a benefit there. Like I know myself, like kind of like running a site, that it can be difficult to kind of have like a consistent attitude and whatnot. Like I try and do that by saying, if we're going to give this a score, then you need to make sure it kind of like, you do this. Like if you give something a 10, you have to like say like it's pretty much like defining a genre,
right?
It's like defining like a decade of music. Like, you have to like, I think we've only ever gave 2 albums a 10 out of 10, and that's Atrocity Exhibition and a Blackmail to the Surface.
Right.
2 ones, and I guess for some people, the latter, they might not think it of much, but the review kind of justified it by showing kind of like the significance in terms of like songwriting. Where I think some sites, especially people like with smaller blogs, kind of go, well, we're just going to give this a 5 out of 5, and then let's hope that the band reads it and share it.
Definitely.
It's very much like a clickbaity kind of thing. NME, that was pretty much the death of NME when they started.
I mean,
I've definitely seen stuff like that.
Look, like,
I've definitely seen stuff.
The time where we stop relying on reviews and scores for us to think that music is good would be a great time. Because
and then my channel will die.
Because no, well, okay. Here's the thing, right? This is where I'm coming from. This new Jack White album. I know neither of you have done reviews for it yet, but what I really want to.
Well, I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Just dropped it.
About
a few minutes.
a few hours ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I haven't been on
it.
YouTube today, but anyway,
It's okay.
So I guess you can talk about it a bit, but like essentially, I'm subscribed to the Third Man newsletter, right? Because I like what Jack White's doing with Third Man Records. I think, doing press implants, blah blah blah, is very, very interesting. But the newsletter came up, and it was like, new Jack White album, and we'd heard about it in the store for a long time. We knew it was coming. We had like the listening party for it 2 weeks prior.
Oh yeah.
And I got this newsletter maybe a week before that, and it literally, all it was a picture of Jack White, and it just listed 5-star, 4-star reviews. Yeah. I mean, like, I think it was like the Rolling Stones that only gave it a 3.5-star review. And it was just like little quotes saying the most bold statement in music yet. And but what I was thinking, I was like, some poor guy sitting at home on his computer thinking, wow, whoa, I'm so excited. You know, like, genuinely believing it. And he's going to go and listen to that album and think, yeah, they're really right about this. Because they're not going in with a mutual, you know, not like, you know, a neutral, sorry. And like a level playing field opinion. They're thinking, reviewers think this is good. So, you know, if I think it's bad, what does that say about me, my music knowledge, you know? And that's the most recent thing that's super pissed me off. I think that, like, not even, like, actual reviews, but, like, the stars, or, like, the number given to it, is so
definitely, that's really
so influential, isn't it? And that's why... Sorry, I guess that's why I like, I like video reviewers much more... I mean, I still read a review every now and again, because... I like good writing, and I've written reviews myself. But like, video reviews are good because lazy people can even sit through a video and listen to someone talk about, you know, an album. You know, like, I'm not saying that not everybody who, you know, people who don't read are lazy, but what I'm saying is that, you know, I've been in that position where I just can't be bothered to read an article, so I'll stick on a needle drop video. You know what I mean? Like, it's different ways of entertainment, and I think more people. I think more people lean to video. Especially with YouTube.
You get the personality, don't you?
Yeah, especially with YouTube. So that's why I think, okay, I'm accepting of, you know, I'm accepting of both really, but it's just that it's the number or the stars that I just really can't stand. And I can't wait until we stop leaning on those scores for our opinions.
Yeah, I feel like with like just from my own experience with like reviewing on YouTube, like Ryan, you might totally differ, but I've always felt kind of hesitant sometimes to even like put a score on, because especially with some albums, like if I wasn't around to review the Mount Erie album from last year, and I've not really got around to this one either. But sometimes, like, context sake, you might be like, I don't feel comfortable like putting a score on it. And sometimes you just want like your words to speak for themselves.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Even people like deep. Like
oh my god!
Cuts, Ollie from Deep Cuts. I know that. I think he's changed from like. I remember when he done his monthly roundup one. It used to be like you'd have like 5 different words, like to be like, okay, this. And then people caught on like, oh, that basically means that's a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or whatever. Yeah. So now he's basically just gonna say, right, I'm gonna sum up this album in so many words, which I think is like a really smart thing. Because I think especially if you're able to kind of sum up your thoughts well and kind of get your case across, it's no longer going to be this kind of case where like I think some reviewers can kind of just like chuck on a score and that's enough for people to talk about. Like Fantano could just do that. Fantano could just like go like, yep, this album 8 out of 10, not say a word about it, and people would still pay attention to that.
Absolutely
true. The thing is as well, like with Deep Cuts, he speaks so like eloquently and like obviously like Dead End Hip Hop have their sort of like personalities sort of like arguing against each other. Like you just don't need a score with what they're doing. And when I started out, actually, I didn't want to do scores or grades or anything. I just was like, if you go back to my really really early reviews, I just talk and then say at the end of the video like, oh yes, this is really good or whatever, or I don't like this and stuff like that, because I just was like, I don't want people to care about the score. But then it came sort of like a burden on me, because I was just like, you know, people care about this, so I should probably do it to kind of get more accessibility. So I sort of sold out in a way. Just like, I'm just going to do a grading system. People will enjoy this, and it causes a bit of arguments every now and then when they're like, a C minus? What is wrong with you?
That's the thing.
It
causes conversation, and maybe, you know, that's how I can see it being good. But and I guess my biggest issue with numbering is mostly just like when artists display it as their only like interesting factor of this new album that's coming out, you know? Like they're like, all of these publications have given it a really good score, and then I'm sitting there like, but like Is that it? Like, is that all you've got for me?
Yeah.
I've heard the music, and I think it's shit, if I'm honest. So, but like, I can, but here's the thing, like, I can be changed, my mind can be changed by a review, like a really good review. If somebody puts out a really good review, and then I'll say, you know what, they really liked it, or they really hated it, so I'll go back and listen. And then, like, I'll gradually go up or down from there. But, like, a 5-star review or an 8 out of 10 review that somebody just sticks on their album, no wording, just a number, it doesn't do shit for me. But I know for a fact, that it gets so many people, because they automatically see a good review from Rolling Stone, like these 50-year-old men. They're like, oh, they were good in my day. And then so they're like, this album is automatically decent.
Yeah,
at best.
That's the thing, and it's annoying. But while we're on review scores, like, let's talk about like how and why like there is this massive issue with publications like giving low scores. Like Liam, again, going back to your video, you said, what was it, like 4?
Yeah, he gave 4 albums less
6
than
out of 10.
6 out of 10, which. And 6 out of 10, like, if I gave something a 6 out of 10, that would be...
Yeah.
So you're still being very generous.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, like, if I was to, like, remove that filter from it, I honestly wouldn't know what the number would be, but I remember that it was Linkin Park, U2, Jake Bug, and the 4th one's...
Is it Chainsmokers?
I see. I want to think that it's Chainsmokers. No, it was Justin... I think it was Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
I think it was Justin Timberlake. Which is, like... So Justin Timberlake is now kind of like he's no longer the guy anymore because he made a bad album, which is fair, which is fair. Jake Bug used to be like, if you ever read,
oh my god,
like we're all from the UK, like you could not escape Jake Bug during like 2013.
I never liked Jake Bug. I never liked him.
Oh no, neither did I.
I'm gonna go on a mini rant. Fuck Jake Bug. His music, from the start, fucking sucked. And it was like, he was like this supposedly edgy guy who didn't care about shit. It just came off as like, you're such a dickhead and your music sucks as well. So you've got no interesting part about it.
Bob Dylan wannabe.
And people were hailing him as the next Bob Dylan. And can I just say, man, nowhere fucking near. I'm sorry, Mr. Enemy Edgy Teen Kid. You've never listened to a Bob Dylan album. You don't know why it's good. You don't know why it's so important. And you think you've got the right to say that Jake Bug is at least, like, touching his music. Just isn't.
No, it's crazy.
And what's so funny, this upcoming record store day, we've got the list, we've got the prices for each record. Jake Bug's, and what record store day does is really, like, put up the prices for records, right? So an average record, like an LP, will cost about 20 quid. But for Record Store Day, an average LP will cost like 28 or 30 quid. They hype it up so much. But Jake Bug's, I think it's like an EP, which would usually be like, you know, if a Record Store Day, you'd expect it to be like 80 and 20 quid. It's like 10 quid. Yeah. It's like, because they know that he is so pointless now, and nobody gives a shit. Yeah. Yet he continues to make music. I bet the record label is sitting there like, "Fuck, we gave this kid a contract." We're in such a hole now. But like, okay, rant over on Jake Bug. I just think he's shit. But
back to
the scores. I can't fucking believe.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the issue people seem to have with giving bad scores. I know Fantano made a video on it a while back.
It's a good thing that we're kind of aware of it more now, because I don't think it was a thing before that article came out. But I'm on Consequence of Sound right now, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm just scrolling down, and there is not a single review like below a C.
Why?
And this page, and I haven't even clicked. Oh wait, I found 2, and this is since Eminem's revival. Like there have been plenty of albums that have been bad, Yeah,
oh, definitely.
And even the one that's an F, right? And that's kind of like, well, yeah, everyone knew that album was shit, and it's Eminem, and he's not really like, the yeah.
It's like somebody handed them that score, like.
Exactly, yeah. And the next one higher up than that is G-Eazy and D+, and D+ isn't even that low, considering like, like F is the next one down. Like, have there not been any other albums that bad? Like, come on, like, and Consequence of Sound.
Consequence of Sound, by the way.
Fuck 'em.
Consequence of Sound. They're absolutely incompetent at reviewing. I've noticed. Yeah. Back in when did Flower Boy drop last year?
Yeah.
Like July. Like it was like summertime. They dropped a review of it, and I ended up doing a post about it. Like I had like my whole clickbait cult thing, because I'd obviously watched an iDubbbz video like once or twice, and just kind of thought, okay, I'll just do that, but with music journalism. But yeah, like I was reading the review, and it was like there was like next to no criticism about the actual album.
Yep.
I know, Ryan, that you and I have kind of clashed heads about the whole kind of like separate the art from the artist.
Oh yeah, we did.
And like we're allowed different opinions. Like it's not caused any bad blood or that.
No.
But when it came to this review, it was like, okay, so my opinion on it is, see, if you're going to review like an album, like bring up whatever kind of stuff's going about in that. But see, if you're going to like make your whole thing essentially just a hit piece on the person and not actually review the album, like just don't bother.
No.
Just like don't fucking bother, because that's what it was.
What?
It was this.
Who was it for?
It was this woman basically. It was Consequence of Sound's review of Tyler.
Oh God, yeah.
So what
did
they say? Were they just attacking him as a person?
Yeah, because of all the
it was just
gay jokes he made and stuff like that, and all the, like, like he used to be quite edgy.
Oh, what beforehand? Before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like I think Tyler himself would even admit that, like, and see, the thing is, so like, just for context, like they ended up giving it a C, which is like considering, see, if you actually read the review, you go what the hell, like, this is not reading. It's a thing. If anything, it comes.
That's just proof off. Right there.
Oh my God!
They ripped him apart in that review, and they couldn't even give him a lower than a C. What the
Pathetic.
hell? It's so stupid. The ideology behind that is stupid as well. I mean, like, so what? He used to say things like, "Oh, fag" and stuff like that. Clearly, if he is maybe potentially like, if he is gay now, or if he's bisexual, then he was probably projecting back then. Cause, he's young. He didn't really know himself very well. And if anyone's ever like met an actual gay person in real life, they always joke about themselves being gay. Like, it's like my best friend is constantly always like taking the piss out of himself. You can mock yourself and still be respectful. Like, it's just I don't know. I just think it's stupid.
I think it's just I totally agree, Ryan. Like, you couldn't have put it better, because it totally is like, it was probably just him not saying that he was gay. It's like if actually I don't even think I could come up with it. I was trying to come up with like a I immediately thought of like a white artist who said the N-word but was actually black. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But
to be fair, there's too many like white rap, like even just I guess the two ones that come to mind immediately when it comes to like white rappers, they aren't even white. Like, what's his name?
6ix9ine.
6ix9ine.
Oh God.
And Lil Pump, like, they've both said it.
Yeah.
They're like, that is like extremely foolish and all that. But like, I feel that, like, how old would like Tyler Creators were in 1991, so when all his music was coming out, that was like the kind of tail end of the noughties, so he would have been about, say, like, kind of like 17, maybe 17, like 18 maybe. I think like I can confidently say that, like, when I was like 15, 16, I said something like I would shake my head at. You would casually say like homophobic things and that, and it's just, and you're a stupid kid.
Absolutely.
You're a stupid kid. Like, I do everything that I can not to even like come across that way. But I think with this review, they take on this whole like superiority thing, where they think that when they were younger they never like done anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I think to a certain extent, obviously, like XXX Tentacion, like, he's just a full on like piece of shit. Like, there's no, like, what he did wasn't just him like saying a bad word. He's a terrible. Oh, exactly.
That's the thing.
But yeah, that review is honestly one of the worst things I've ever read, because there's a line where they say that this song made a Tyler album tolerable, and I'm like, so it makes it tolerable, but you gave it a 6. Like, what's it? Like a C for you, Ryan? That's like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It's like decent.
Yeah, so like, that would be like, okay, that album is good, like tolerable for me. If I had my work regarded as being tolerable, I'd be like, okay, that's like a 4 out of 10, maybe a 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'd have the courage to give it that though in our review. We wouldn't care, like, oh, man.
There's people in the Scottish music scene that hate me because I didn't like rant and rave about their band's music being good, because I actually had the audacity to be like, hey, you could maybe improve this, or this could be a bit better. Because I feel like if somebody, like, I write, so if somebody would say to me, oh, I feel like your structuring could be a bit better, you could do this or that better, like, I would fully take that on board, because at the end of the day, like, you're never, like Ryan, you look back at your videos, like, I don't know, when did you start, like, last year, was it?
Yeah, so it's coming up to a year now. It was April last year.
Like, you look at your videos then and look at them now, like, you've probably noticed like an improvement there. I know for sure. Like, I look at my video from 2015, and even like the littlest things, like framing in that, like I feel like you can. There's some people that will try and say that you can't even critique music because it's being snobby, or it's like you projecting, like, because you want to be a musician, and it's like you can't, so you're going to critique it.
Oh yeah.
It's like you get some really dumb things. And so it's really frustrating, because you want people to be more critical, but some people just can't at all, and it's
frustrating, isn't it?
Review,
exactly. This isn't a problem with films though, you know, like, people give films like 2 out of 10s, 3 out of 10s all the time. They get panned absolutely, like, relentlessly. On Rotten Tomatoes, some films have like 10%, you know, and then like, no, you never see film reviewers getting attacked. It's just sort of like, yeah, this film's terrible. But with music, it's like we can't seem to just let ourselves just admit that something isn't very good. I wonder why. I don't know.
It's
we need our own Armand White or something like that. Like, you know who Armand White is?
Armand White?
No, I have no idea.
He's basically this film reviewer that's like made his living on being a contrarian, where like his favourite film of 2013 was Man of Steel. He basically, every film that gets he was one of the, like, not to say that like Black Panther was a perfect film, but he basically, like, he gave it like a negative review. He gave all these films that were getting like near perfect scores like a negative review.
That's just edgy for the sake of being edgy, though.
Yeah, like we don't need. I think the thing is though, like, with film reviewing, it's kind of concentrated into this one person, whereas I think everyone in music reviewing wants to be kind of like, I don't know, like, wants to kind of like be the outlier or something like that. Like, they want to just kind of be edgy for the sake of being edgy, and it's, I think it's obvious when people try that, when they just want to give like an album a bad score just for the sake of being like, well, everyone else is giving it this. Like, I think there's probably people that give To Pimp a Butterfly maybe like an 8 out of 10 because they want to be edgy. And I forget what album it was that ARTV reviewed, because I remember that Brad used it in his video, and like he it was Ducho Milk Hotel.
Yeah, it was.
And he was like, and he gave it like a 9 out of 10. I'm like obviously that's fine, but like the way he was talking about it, he was kind of like, this song wasn't as good as that song, and that, so it was like the most like basic critique, and he's not like evolved since. That's what annoys me about ARTV. I'm going to try not go into much of a rant about this, because we've already seen this in the last episode.
Oh my god, I went like really hard at the end of that episode on ARTV.
Yeah, that was extreme, guys.
I don't even think
the world didn't hear it though.
I know, what a shame.
well, they can hear it though, because I don't think I have like the niceness to say that he's probably a nice guy, because have you seen his Twitter? Like, obviously you've seen his
He's
Twitter.
blocked me now.
I'm blocked.
Yeah, he's blocked me. What?
There'll be a flood of comments now being like, yeah, I'm blocked too. I'm blocked.
But here's the thing. I think he just dislikes. I think, and I've made a joke about this on his YouTube comments all the time. I do it all the time, and I ask him, why do you hate small YouTube reviewers? And I've never got an answer, but I kind of genuinely believe it.
He tweeted about it once. I think he basically said, but basically it was like kind of like what you'd expect, like you're a 14-year-old girl at a school to keep being like, oh, these people are on me, but you just make me stronger. You just make me bigger.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely winsome. I'm kind of glad he hasn't blocked me, because I love being able to see just the absolute. He comes off as like a 40-year-old man that's like that likes Britain, like just kind of like he's just like on 4chan Reddit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is just this
Yeah.
going, man. This going, this.
It's really annoying though, because like in his videos he never comes across that way. Like he's just like chilled out. He's just like, well then as soon as he gets on his social media, he's typing away, ranting, like frothing at the mouth, typing his tweets. Truly, just like, come on, dude.
He truly is the Paul Joseph Watson of music reviewing.
Yeah, I made this joke, didn't I?
Or did I? To be honest, I think we've both made it.
Oh, okay. But, I think I tweeted it one time.
Yeah, it's possible. but he truly just is. Like, he gets so angry about the most pointless things, and I tweeted this out once, where I said when I was I liked his reviews. This was very, very early stages. Mm-hmm. I say very, very. It was like 2 years ago now, but okay. So that was when I was getting into music reviewing, and I liked his channel. He seemed like an okay guy, and he was like, "Oh, before I do my end list, tweet me out what things you really enjoyed this year." And I said, "Oh, I enjoyed Carsey Headrest Teens of Denial," and he replies to me, "I've already reviewed that." ... And I'm like, well, shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I don't fucking follow your channel like a little dog scratching at the door. I'm sorry, but like he seemed like he got so pissed about it, or at least he seemed that way. He was really like snobby. I was like, well, fuck me. And the worst thing is that at the time I like genuinely apologized. Like I felt bad, but looking at it now, I'm like, fuck him. What the fuck?
Yeah. ARTV just like treats his fans like a commodity, I believe. Like I think like he does not care about them until like he's getting beefed by
until someone disagrees with him. It's like, oh, you disagree with me? Well, you're not allowed to do that.
Jeez. I think that just to like end my general opinion on him, I think that if he could review better, I would be fine with it. But I think that one, he doesn't word himself well. Two, have you ever seen any of his comedy?
Yeah. Oh dear.
Play with the pussy like peekaboo. Play with the pussy like peekaboo.
The Lana Del Rey review as well. Oh my lord.
I'm actually.
And another thing to add as well. He's part of the problem with reviews. I never see anything below a 3 out of 5. True. Like I've seen a few.
Yeah.
I've seen a few. The Lana Del Rey one was a negative review.
Yeah, but he plays safe.
I think Niall Horan.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're safe. Right. I think like he plays it safe. He doesn't batter an album in the way that like Fantano would, or Spectrum Pulse would, or Deep Cuts. Like Dead End Hip Hop. Like it's just like it's just so safe. I think he's too worried about losing that sort of like credibility, in the sense that like, he's positive, he's a positive outlooking guy, but like if he gives an album review too low, then people might view him badly or something. It's just it's all about keeping face, but I don't really have that. I don't really care,
Yeah, I mean,
I think you need to not care.
We'll end it on this ARTV thing. Go and watch Brad Taste of Music's video on ARTV. It's one of the best things I've seen. I think we needed it. Like, we genuinely needed like an iDubbbz like video on ARTV. I've been waiting for it for so long. Anyone who's go and watch it. It's phenomenal.
That's his best. I think that's Brad's kind of like, that's his like, if he was to do more of that kind of stuff, where like just like kind of like the iDubbbz doing, like I'd be totally.
It's hard though. It's hard though, because like the only real irritation is ARTV. Like, how many other music reviews do you get? Fine.
That's a good.
Well, that's the thing. It could be one of us one day.
Wow.
We could be the next one.
Nobody could possibly have an issue with me.
They could.
I'm like,
you're a tool.
I'm the most.
It's not like you think that Little Boat 2 is an actual.
Oh my god.
Boy.
You will love our last podcast. It isn't up.
Oh yeah.
At the time of recording this, it is not up, but
But it will be.
I mean, yeah, at this point it will be when this one's released. But I essentially say that Lil Boat 2 is miles better than the Young Fathers record.
Yeah. Oh boy.
As long as you didn't. Well, actually, David was, if he's on
He
the
is.
podcast, and he would have fought my corner, because like I think everyone basically that I've seen review has been fairly positive, and that's why I was like taken aback. But like I don't, like, honestly, I think the stuff that you've said, like, that's totally like justified to you. Like, there's it. Look, I don't hate Little Boy 2, but I don't like it either. I just it's kind of just there for me. There's a few good tunes. Like I'm looking at like my like negative reviews just here, after Ryan like mentioned how many he had. I'm like, oh, I need to check myself, and like, yeah, I could easily make my, like you say, Ryan, like, I could make my top 10 worst albums
already
this year. It's not even March.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
What are they though? Would you say that, or would you like at least give a few?
Oh, like I will, like, I think some of them are quite like you could easily guess, like Migos, Fall Out Boy, Justin Timberlake. I didn't. Have you ever listened to Halsey?
No.
No. They had an album called Cranberry. I really liked their debut album, but this new one's like just like a really bad redo of it. The new Porches album.
What?
That's
boring. That was a snore.
It wasn't that bad.
For me though, for me, I think that like a 1, 2, or 3 that's like objectively a bad album. I've gave it like a 4 on my thing, so I'm like, I can see why people would like it. Whereas like Migos, I'm like, this is like such a fucking chore.
Yeah,
it was.
That was horrendous.
And then the other one, just so I'm not like spoiling everything here, the Alt album.
Oh my
I think
god!
The Alt album is lyrically good, but I just I've came back to it time and time again, and it's just not clicked with me. I feel like I should really.
Is it that bad though?
Yeah, sucks.
To be fair,
really?
I'm saying this like I've gave it a 5 out of 10, so it's like. It's not even like, I feel there'll be worse albums to come out. Like Jake Paul will probably drop some
fucking hell
thing. They'll I feel like I would have probably had like XXX and like 6ix9ine on this, but like I just don't want to like listen to their stuff and give them, like, even if it's like a single stream, like a penny. I don't want to give them a fucking penny. I've heard one 6ix9ine song.
They're all the same.
It was
like, trust me.
Like they all, like I honestly, like I like, we were talking about Brad there. Like I love Brad's like content and like his whole style, but I don't see how the boy could have gave that like an 8 out of 10. Like,
give what, an 8 out of 10? What? Like it's no, he didn't.
6ix9ine thing. It was like an
no.
8.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, he did.
He did.
Yeah. Which, like, again, like, you're entitled to your own opinion. But I feel like every 6ix9ine song that I've heard so far, and most of them have been through like osmosis. Like, I've watched Billboard Breakdown, and I've heard it, and I've went, is that not just the same song?
Yeah.
Like, it's like his delivery is so like just one note.
Oh yeah.
Boring. Like, I say boring. Like, I feel it's boring just because of like how like repetitive it is. Not like he's trying to like obviously like fake energy, like trying to like be like. But he's not saying anything of any. No,
it's just like gang shit.
Pretty much.
Like, I shoot you. It's okay.
Yeah, but like, I'm kind of like, I know that you both have like said your position on, separating the music and the artist, but like with 6ix9ine, I just I think he's.
Oh, like he's a nonce.
Yeah, and he's irritating. He's just a disgusting human being.
Yeah.
I think that.
Have you seen the video of him on Twitter though, where like he spends about 5 minutes trying to do like a
that was so funny.
He just looking back at the live stream, just kind of like, and then just says the same thing again. Like it's almost like an endurance test. I was laughing so hard.
That reminded me of being at school. Like there'd always be those fucking like chavs at the back of the room. But they'd get like, they'd be like that. But then at the end of the year, they'd get this special trip to like Alton Towers.
Yeah.
It's like, oh right, okay, I didn't get this, but I tried hard.
I like actually did very well throughout. But these chavs, I don't know. But I can't believe Brad gave that an 8.
He did.
But then. Whatever. It's like how did Fantano give Lil Pump a 7?
I'm still shocked by that. Like, I feel like a lot of people rate that. Is it an album?
Yeah, I think it's an album.
I don't remember which one it is because like
I thought it was a mixtape.
Like I don't
know.
I don't know.
I can't remember, but I think people only rate that high. Like that's one of the few instances where I'm like, folk only like that because fans
definitely
said it was okay. Like it was.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
I personally still think it's like a. I only think it's like a 5. I think it's a.
Yeah. I give it a 5. Like
I don't think it's a bad. Like trap mixtape. I think it's just very plain, unimaginative, all the way throughout. You know, it doesn't try anything exceptionally interesting for like a SoundCloud rapper.
I think he can top it though. I think he can. I think if he removes those hooks, he could actually put out something good. And I don't know. I feel like there's something that could happen with him. I think he's been on a few features, and he released that other song that was alright. He didn't sound as annoying and boring. Yeah. But like,
as long as he stops using Big Head, that's the only thing I feel.
Oh, Big Head, yeah.
Brings him to, like the songs that he's been on, like have obviously like got him attention. Like Gucci Gang, like was huge, but I feel like he's kind of like putting himself into the corner. Like just kind of like if he's just gonna stick with that one kind of guy. But yeah, he could definitely top that. That's why like that's the same reasoning that Fantano used for Good Kid, Mad City. Like he gave it a 9 because he's like, I know he can.
Yeah.
And look what happened. Like he excelled in almost every way. So that's why I don't think I've gave anything a 10 yet on my channel because I'm worried that if I do, I'm like, oh God, I don't know, like what about this, and I just look at like a bit of an idiot. Again, the only album I would give a 10 out of 10 from like the time I've been reviewed. Well, To Pimp a Butterfly and Atrocity Exhibition.
Yeah.
Any other album I can't really think of. I really liked RTJ 3 when it first came out, but the more and more I listened to it, like about a month or two later, I was like, this is like a strong 8 for me.
It wasn't even that for me, honestly.
I know. I just know, Ryan. I'm going to start a bit of beef here.
Oh God!
You said that you would give Run the Jewels 2 a 10 on Twitter.
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm a great guy.
I truly don't see how.
I think a lot of people would agree, but do you just not get it?
I think it's like I think it's a good hip hop album. That's it. I think it's a good hip hop album. I give it.
Oh man, the beats though. Everything about it is just so.
I'd easily give it an 8. I don't think it's that genre pushing or like, you know. I'm not saying that if you're a 10 you have to be a game changer, but I'm at least thinking that you have to be experimental in some sort of way. But it didn't feel very experimental or pushing at the boundaries.
Oh man, I think it sounds completely different to everything else that's come out in hip hop this decade. Yeah, like Run Them Jewels, like that song with like the sample that's used the whole way through. You could think, oh, maybe it's getting a bit annoying. I still think that's quite experimental.
Well, I think it slaps. Like it sounds good. Yeah. It's weird how people's minds work. Like, is it not strange that like, you know, I don't think it is at all this, but you think it is all of that. You know, this is a phenomenal like piece of.
But But remember what we said. You know, the scores don't matter.
No,
guys.
Absolutely
not about that.
Well, I guess like. Ryan, apart from Run the Jewels 2, you haven't given a 10 on your channel or like a A+, have you?
No, never. No, only with like classic albums. But that's just because they're classics.
What would you, other than Run the Jewels 2, what would you have given if you were going to review it? Say the past 8 years since 2010. If you were reviewing what any standout albums.
Good Kid, Mad City.
You give a 10.
Yeah, I'd give both of them a 10. I think the story on Good Kid, Mad City is equally as good as the entire concept of To Pimp a Butterfly. It's just executed kind of differently. Yeah. I love the story on Good Kid, Mad City. I think it's told so well. It is done right, yeah. Obviously, the music's incredibly good as well. Probably The Money Store, honestly. I know that's like a obviously fun time.
I know, but it is that good.
But like, it is that good. Channel Orange, I'd say Channel Orange.
Whoa! Hot take.
Yeah, Channel Orange, man.
No.
That 2012 was like, incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked enough about Frank Ocean on my Twitter. Like, Channel Orange is still like a strong 8 for me.
Right.
I'd say, but I think Blonde is better. That's different discussion for a different day. But I'm not as shocked about that one though, because Channel Orange, especially for like when it came out, I know how like taken aback I was by that.
Yeah.
That was like my first experience of like contemporary, like kind of like R&B.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Like some songs like Pyramids and that, like I like Pyramids is still like a great song off that. I just think that Nights is basically does what Pyramids did but better.
Okay.
I think but Channel Orange does a lot of things really well. I think people that say Nostalgia Ultra is better are being deluded, because it's literally.
I know.
I don't see that. Why? It's like when people say that Endless is anywhere close. When that album was literally, it's just a bit of sound. Like, that's all it is to me.
But it was pretty beautiful though.
Stunning.
I love listening to it.
It's stunning, but like it just isn't anywhere near like. I mean, for me personally, Blonde is good. I'm not a huge Frank Ocean fan. I'll say that. Like, Blonde I enjoy. I don't really like Channel Orange very much though.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't think it's that interesting.
Damn.
So no, it's again.
Maybe go back to it.
Maybe I should. I think I've gone back to it like a couple of times in the past few years, but I'll definitely go back to it at some point. But it's, I mean, like, I still think that Blonde is way overhyped. I just don't think it is as good as everybody says.
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
I don't think it is. I think I've seen more hate.
Oh really?
And I think people try and like really undermine
Yeah.
it a bit, and it's not. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 personally. I think there's like I don't know why Facebook's story is on Blonde, because it's not really.
Yeah.
You could try and stretch it and say, oh, he's trying to he's talking about social media and that. I feel like if you cut that song, like, I would maybe feel more inclined, but I honestly think that it's going to be difficult for Frank Ocean to top that album anytime soon anyway. But like, if you look into the production of that album, it's really quite interesting. But what about you, Josh? Is there any albums you'd give?
Yeah, go on, tell us.
Perfect score.
Since mine is so wrong.
I'm sorry. I feel like I dictate what is right and what's wrong, and that just isn't.
No.
Isn't the factor. I guess I'm just interested in people's opinions. 10. Pure comedy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, pure comedy. 10 out of 10 all day, every day. It just is. And I know it's one of those things where people seem to either really dislike it or really love it.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like...
Yeah, it's definitely that album.
And I personally think that's what makes it... No, I don't think it has any effect on the score, but I think that's maybe what, like, makes me think every now and again. I'm like, yeah, it is one of those albums where I think it causes enough of that I hate this or I love this, that it has to be the either end, you know? It's got to be top or bottom, and I think it truly is top. Pure comedy, trying to think of another...
What about the JPEG?
No, that's not a 10.
Would you not give that a 10? No, that's fair.
Yeah, I think I said that in like the first podcast that that's easily a 9 for me. I can see how that would be my opinion though. Like, for some reason I can't see how people dislike pure comedy. I truly can't.
It's the same song over and over, like, instrumentally. Instrumentally is literally the same song. It literally
It isn't though.
For 75 minutes! 75!
It's a lot weaker than I Love You, Honey Bear.
But Ryan, you liked Mr. Tillman, didn't you? His most recent song.
It was alright.
Ryan doesn't want to admit that he's back on the hype train. He's back on the Misty.
No, I Love You, Honey Bear. Like, I Love You, Honey Bear is amazing. I think I like him more when he's writing
because it's
cynical love
faster
songs.
This is more my pace.
Yeah.
No, there's something truly, spectacular about pure comedy in the way that it's not it's one of those albums that I think takes a lot of patience to I think you
definitely
you truly
it's not just a one listen and then that's it. You got to keep going, and I did.
Because even me, like, it took a good few listens for me to be like, right, like I completely like get this now. But like songs like Ballad of a Dying Man and
that one's
I truly think that's like Misty's magnum opus. I think like it's his best song, right? Like, but like even Leaving LA, I possibly think Leaving LA is an amazing song, only because I'm a hardcore Dylan fan, and I'm used to the same like rhythm in a verse 10 times over, because that's what Dylan did really well, and he told the story very well. I think Misty does that too, just slower and more, you know, with beautiful production.
Yeah, I can't argue with that at all, because like I really like the new Sun Calhoun album.
Oh right.
And if like I'd say it's like 2 hours long. Like it's probably even more kind of like self-indulgent than Father John Misty. So yeah, I think it just kind of comes down to how interested you are by it. And I think Father John Misty's album is probably the most kind of like important album of last year, considering like its like subject matter and whatnot. Just for me it didn't click quite as well. Like I've got it on vinyl, so I obviously like it to like an extent where I would pay money to have it on physical media. Like I wouldn't say like, oh, this is like a 5 out of 10. Like I say it's still a good album. And a lot of my friends like hype it up big time, and I totally see why. Like I can understand why they would say it's better than I think it is.
Any other 10s, Josh? Because I don't know much about what you love, actually, considering we're doing this podcast for a while.
It's because I've like dropped off of the reviewing scale for just making art now. This is all I do.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
I mean, like, I can dig deep into my true like biases.
Go on.
Oh, because I would easily give Humbug a 10.
Oh right.
And I would give, like, this is the most controversial thing I'll ever say, I'll give Fall Out Boy's Infinity on High a 10, easily, any day. But that's a bias. A bias. I think that's a bias just because I listened to it when it came out, and it was kind of the only thing I listened to, you know. So I wasn't so aware of music around me, but I still listen to that and think, wow, like I'm still amazed. But people probably think the same thing about like Blink-182 records or something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
absolutely.
I'm still like big on their earlier stuff, but I totally understand why some would go, oh, this is kind of cringy. Like Biffy Clyro, also like still one of my favourite bands. But if somebody would say to me, oh, I think they're quite like whiny, I think they're kind of like cringy, I'd be like, that's it's more kind of I've grew up with their stuff. They're like a Scottish rock band as well. So we've like a good one, so it's like we kind of need to kind of like attach ourselves to whatever good stuff we can get.
I guess my final 10 out of 10 that is again another bias like Fall Out Boys. Panic at the Disco is pretty odd. Truly spectacular. And I say it's a bias, but I genuinely listen to it and think this is actually for a 10 out of 10. Like I think if this came out now, I'd still actually give it a 10 out of 10. It's that good. I truly think it is that good.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fair.
Any for you, Liam?
Like I guess how far back are we looking to go?
Well, I was thinking mostly this decade, but
obviously I went back into like mid 2000s here.
Yeah.
Like if I was go as far back as there, probably.
Actually.
Oh yeah. That's my favourite radio.
Oh,
album,
me too. I'm glad we could all agree on something, because
I'll never do a Radiohead ranked thing, because I just know In Rainbows
easily.
For me,
easily.
by a mile.
Great.
I'm just having like a quick glance. Like I'd give No Love Deep Web and The Money Store.
Oh, right.
10 out of 10.
See, I would actually see. I definitely give No Love Deep Web a 9, but I can totally see why it would be a 10. Like,
yeah,
people.
I feel it's like what OK OK Computer and Kid A. I think Kid A is just like a darker, like kind of more experimental version.
Yeah.
Where there's some like basically like my stories all about like the internet, and that No Love Deep Web just takes that and just goes like so fucking weird with it. So I'd probably give that it. But bar that, like, not really much that's popping out to me. Just bar like obvious ones, like maybe some 90s alt rock.
Yeah.
And Utero.
Definitely.
Like maybe Weezer's album. Siamese Dream, like stuff that everyone kind of like agrees on, and like it's pretty.
Yeah. I mean, like, you listed them as 10s. I probably wouldn't give them all 10s, but like I would agree that they are very influential records, and so you couldn't possibly not understand why someone would give them a 10 because they're so influential.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So should we wrap it up here?
I think it's time. Yeah.
It's time, guys.
Last episode, I ended on a high because Fantano agreed with me. On the Young Fathers and Lil Boat 2.
Oh,
because Liam, like, he literally uploaded his video towards the end of the podcast.
The podcast, yeah, it's true.
I want to be angry at him, but like I was fanboying like fuck whenever I was in his argument thing. So
oh god, yeah, you were, yeah. That was awesome.
Oh, that was fucking good. 2 subscribers from it. 2 subscribers.
Oh,
from it, so definitely be.
Great, awesome. Oh my god. But, all right.
But yeah, thank you for coming on, Liam, as a guest.
Yeah, great.
Well, thank you for having me. Let's hope this will work out well. But yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yes.
All right.
And and thank you very much, Josh, and
as always,
everyone for listening. Yeah, as always, this has been fun, and that is all. Thank you and goodbye.